Welcome to the conversation. Without the conversation, you can't have an understanding. Now, I just did my first podcast. And you know what? The first thing that came out of my mouth was, hey, you know what? There's a new norm about the workplace. Um, this whole notion of you having to physically be there so you can take those eyeballs and look at you while you're working, you know what? Has been thrown out the window. For 2 or 3 months, we've been doing that. And so the Twitter CEO just said, you know what? Everyone, you can work from home forever. Yes, not a week, not a day, forever. So I have a special guest with me to talk about that. Mr. Leon Wilson. He's an author. He's a speaker. He's an entrepreneur, and I just wanted to get a conversation with him about what does this mean for the future. Hey, Leon, what's going on?
Oh, it's doing great out here in Iowa, uh, in seclusion because of the pandemic, but it's a beautiful day.
All right, all right. That's what I like to hear. So what's your thoughts about this whole thing of working from home forever?
Well, it's a funny thing, being a sci-fi buff. I figured that sooner or later, I'm a, I'm a tech guy as well. Sooner or later, that we would, because of technology and what we're doing to the planet, that we would eventually have to work from home because of the pollution and other factors. But little did I know that it'll happen in my lifetime, and not just in my lifetime, right now. And it makes sense. It makes sense for business. The money that they spend on the property, parking, the lights, the heat, all those different things to maintain an office, to be able to get rid of that, and then to have people eat at home, work at home, use their own electricity. It's a savings all the way around. And then for the employee, not to have to get in the car or the train or some other public transportation to go to work, it's a game changer. It's the right thing to do. And more companies should look into that and they'll see the savings. Yeah.
Wow. So now let's look at this the savings. Now, really, how much money have you saved in gas?
Oh, that's an unbelievable story. The gas prices out here regular got down to $1.25
Wow.
a gallon. The
Wow.
gas was so low that I wanted to buy gas, but I couldn't because my tank was full. And now I'm sitting on a full tank of gas going on 2 months, and I don't know what to do.
Okay. So there's that. So let's say about this whole thing having a home office. You know, for a lot of people, this was the first time they literally had to work from home. They had to get a PC, a MacBook, or whatever. They had to get the monitor set up. You know, all of that. You know, do you see that as a way for businesses now to say, hey, you know what? Hey, why don't you buy your own stuff? You know, we'll give you virtual access to get in and make sure it's secure. But hey, you know what? This is the way. Hey, we can lower some rent. You know, this whole thing of not going in. I mean, so let's take it. Let's flip that. Let's flip the situation.
I
The quarantine is over. You can go
Okay.
back to work. You tell your employer, hey, um, I'm doing good right now. Everything
Right.
working for me. I'm meeting my deadlines. You're getting productivity. You're getting more productivity because I'm up at 6 o'clock working, and I don't stop working until about 10 o'clock because I'm home and I can just work that way. But they said, no, we need you to come back into the office. What you say?
Well, I'm split.
Okay.
Um, One, because I also work in corporate America, and I must admit that there's something about going into the office, fellowshipping with my coworkers, getting together face to face. There's something about that that I enjoy. I don't like to drive in. The other parts of it I don't like. Buying gas. I don't like that. in the big scheme of things. But the fellowship and being able to meet, talking to my superiors, being able to read their body language, and as we meet for different issues, whether it's finance or technology. So I see that part of it. The other part of it is being able to be at home when the pandemic is over, being able to drop my kids off at school, pick them up, help them with their homework along with doing my own work. That is huge. That is a big deal. Most of the time we spend all our time away from the home and away from my kids. Now, during the pandemic though, having my kids here and doing homeschooling, actually, I really want to go to work. I really, really want to go to work, any place actually, just to get a break.
Ooh, hey, 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 hey,
Um,
hey, hey! I have a 4-year-old. He's running around like dad, 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 dad. I'm like, really,
yes.
really, dad, 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 dad. Man, I've never heard that so many times in my life. I have not heard that so many times, so many times in my life. But you hit on a point though, and this is my. I'm sort of split. I believe that we need the social interaction.
Mhm.
I think us doing FaceTime and all these other things virtually is cool. We get the job done. But I think there's
Yeah.
something about that social interaction with others. Um, my fear is that has that gone away? Has that whole
Mm.
thought of going to get coffee with your coworker and just say, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing?" And you catching up, has that dissipated? I mean, we're doing church online, we're working online, the kids are going to school online. When do you like get back and do that face to face?
Well, the truth of the matter is, before the pandemic even hit, when I was living in Chicago, I would ride the train, and I noticed that in a full train car, everyone was looking at their phone or tablet, some type of electronic
That
device,
is
working on
true.
their
That is
laptop,
true. That
and
is true.
there was no communication. There was no saying hi to the person sitting next to you. We were all in our own little world then. So at that time, we was already practicing social distancing way before this happened.
Mm. So so Jack Dorsey, the CEO's president, thinks a good idea. I mean, because he is giving them an option. So there is an option. So it's not like this is it. Stay at home. He's
Right.
giving them an option to come back into the office in September or stay at home. Um, Now, do you think more employers will do that?
I think once they realize the cost savings
Okay.
involved, I believe that more employers will do that. I like what he's doing, though, giving them the option.
Hmm.
That's something that I would prefer. If I had the option, maybe I could come in 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
That way I could have the best of both worlds. I think that's the way to go. But the savings for business it is huge, and savings for the employees would also be huge, especially if you live far from your job.
That is true. That is true. Well, man, thank you. I know you busy. I know you got the kids running around. My 4-year-old's running around here
Woo!
somewhere as well. But no, no, man. I appreciate you being on the show. I really do. I really do. And hey, come back and visit.
Oh,
Come back and
definitely.
visit.
I listen to the show, love the conversation. Starts my day if I miss it. A day I can always go back and listen to it. Very helpful, and I appreciate you calling me.
All right, man. Yeah. So you know what? Again, the whole purpose is, um, do we work from home?
Mm.
Is it possible? Employers are now starting to say, hey, you know what? It's something that we need to think about. And hopefully, as this pandemic and things are start opening up, you know what, we'll get an answer to that. Until then, again, without the conversation, we can't have the understanding.
Thank you for being a part of the conversation with Corinthus Alston. Brought to you by CKJ Live. Come back and visit us again to hear more real life topics and stories that matter to you. And remember, without the conversation, we can't have the understanding.